So, you want to make your 3.6 liter pin to start faster. Well, in this video, I'm going to be going over 5 different modifications to help you do just that. There's also going to be some honorable mentions at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. There's going to be 3 different categories I'm going to judge these modifications on. First one's going to be price, how much it costs. I know the price range can vary from around $100 all the way up to $6,000. The second one is horsepower gain. How much gain are you getting from these modifications? Is it worth it? Is it not? And the third is going to be installation. How hard is this to do yourself, or how hard is it to bolt on yourself? If you enjoy this video, please don't forget to hit that like button. If you have any of these modifications, comment down which one you have and which one you think is the most bang for your buck. And don't forget to subscribe.
Zombie apocalypse.
Alright, so this is going to be going in the order of my personal opinion of what I would go and do first all the way to last. Number 1 is going to be the Porridge throttle body. The reason why I picked this one in particular is because I felt like I had the most horsepower gains with this mod. I just felt like it was way more responsive when I hit the gas. As far as cost, I know you could pick one up for around $300 to $400, and install is fairly easy. On the MMX website, it says that it can make up to 10 more horsepower on your vehicle. Number 2 is going to be the exhaust. I love a good sounding exhaust. The cost on these can range from about, I want to say $100 to $1,000 to $2,000. It just depends on what type of setup you want to go for. Me personally, I took it to a muffler shop and just had them do a muffler and then delete the resonator. But I know you can go to O'Reilly's or something and cut out your old muffler and put a new muffler in there to make more airflow. I personally paid around $430 for my exhaust work, which isn't that bad. Adding an exhaust system can add about 10 to 20 horsepower, just depending on what exhaust setup. And that's pushing it on the 20 horsepower. You're looking more in the 10 range. For install, it wasn't very hard for me because I paid someone, but if you were to do it yourself, it might be a little bit difficult. Number 3, a cold air intake. Now the price varies from around $200 to $500 depending on the one you get. Cold air intakes claim to make around 7 to 22 more horsepower. And the install is pretty easy. By the way, if you've made it this far, why don't you go ahead and smash that like button. It really helps me and the channel grow. And consider subscribing. I drop videos every Thursday, so stay tuned. Number 4 is going to be a lower intake manifold or a ported whole intake manifold. So the lower one is going to be the upgraded version. I believe it comes off a Chrysler Pacifica, and they're slightly bigger. The new one is slightly bigger, so it's allowing a little bit more airflow. I know the cost is generally around $120 to $150, and the horsepower gains aren't anything crazy. At least for what I have is a upgraded one. I do not have the ported one, but the horsepower gains wasn't anything crazy. The ported MMX intake manifold is going to run around $600, and I know the research I did on the lower upgraded one says it would add about 10 horsepower. So this is the lower and the upper one. So I'm guessing it would add a little bit more than 10, maybe 15 or so. But it does not specify on the website. You can purchase a ported MMX intake manifold on their website, and it's around $600. Now the install might be a little bit more difficult on this one, but if you have some friends that know a little bit about intakes and all that, then you should be just fine. But I would suggest while you're there to change out the spark plugs, because that intake goes right over a spark plug. So once you get that off, you'll be able to do the spark plugs a lot easier. Now to tuning, number 5. There's a couple different routes you can go with tuning. There's HP tuners, there's Diablo tuners, there's the i3, Diablo i3, then there's the Diablo Trinity 2. Which one should you pick? Well, the price ranges vary from each tuner. They can be from $500 to $700. The Diablo tunes claim to add 15 horsepower on 93 octane and 13 on 90. Now I haven't gotten this mod yet, but I feel like it would be very easy for install. The only downside is if you have a locked PCM, you might have to send it to them for them to unlock it or find some way to unlock your PCM. Luckily for me, my car is a 2013, so I didn't have to worry about that. Alright, so those are going to be my top 5 modifications for a 3.6 liter Pentastar. The first honorable mention is going to be the exhaust piping. There's going to be a little almost like bubble shaped looking thing right after your cat on the driver's side. What you got to do, or what you would do if you wanted to follow this advice, is just completely remove that, cut it out, and then put some new exhaust piping right there that's just a straight piping so it has better airflow. 2 is going to be the E85 overkill injectors. I don't have E85 at my town, so this wouldn't really be good for me. This wouldn't really be practical for me, so I kind of passed on these, but I definitely would have gotten them if I had E85 where I lived. Not only that, you would also have to get a tune. The next one's going to be swapping out your differential. So I've heard of this, but I haven't really done this, and I feel like it'd be a lot of money and time and effort to swap that out. The only benefit is that it would help your 0 to 60. Doesn't really necessarily make your vehicle quicker. It doesn't add horsepower, you're just messing with the differential. That being said, you might even have to mess with the axles if you mess with the differential, so it's going to be a whole project if you try to get into that. And last but not least, we got the RIP supercharger kit. If you got $6,000 burning a hole in your pocket, then this one is hands down for you. It can take a stock charger with a base run of 250 wheel horsepower and then turn it to 450 wheel horsepower. Alright, that's gonna do it for this video. If you've got this far, don't forget to smash that like button and consider subscribing. I drop videos every Thursday, so I see you guys next Thursday.
Zombie apocalypse.